On August 15th, 1977, a telescope in Ohio picked up 72 seconds of something strange. To this day, it still fits almost every single requirement scientists have for an alien signal. It's the closest we may have ever come to contact, and nobody has ever been able to fully explain it. The Big Ear radio telescope at Ohio State University wasn't looking for anything special that night. It was quietly scanning the sky as part of a project called Ohio SETI, listening for any artificial signal from deep space. Nobody noticed anything unusual until days later. That's when astronomer Jerry Ammon sat down to review the printouts. Buried in pages of routine numbers, one sequence jumped out, 6EQUJ5. It was a signal so much stronger than anything else on the page. Ammon circled it in red pen, and without thinking, wrote a single word next to it: wow. Here's why this mattered so much. The exact frequency at which hydrogen, the most common element in the universe, naturally emits energy. Scientists had long theorized that if any advanced civilization wanted to be found, this is the frequency they'd use. Because any species anywhere in the universe capable of radio astronomy would eventually discover this exact same number. It's less like guessing a phone number, and more like a universal constant every civilization would land on independently. On top of that, the signal was narrowband, compressed into a tiny sliver of frequency. Natural cosmic sources, like stars or pulsars, are almost always broadband, spread across a wide range. Narrowband signals are usually artificial. It came from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius, near a cluster of stars called M55. For 72 seconds, everything about this signal matched exactly what scientists were hoping to someday find. Naturally, everyone wanted to hear it again. Telescopes were pointed back at that same patch of sky, again and again, for decades afterward. Nothing, not once, not the faintest trace. For a signal that looked so deliberate, the silence that followed only deepened the mystery. If it really was a message, why would it never repeat? In 2017, one astronomer proposed a natural explanation: comets. Two specific comets, he argued, were passing through that exact patch of sky, and their hydrogen-rich comas could have produced a signal at that frequency. It made headlines, but the explanation didn't hold up well under scrutiny. Other astronomers pointed out that comets simply don't produce signals anywhere near that strong. Today, most scientists consider this theory largely discredited. The more compelling explanation came recently. Researchers studying archived data from the Arecibo Observatory went back through decades of records, searching for anything that looked like the wow signal. And they found several similar, though weaker, events. Their theory: somewhere out there, a rare kind of object, a magnetar, an incredibly dense, hypermagnetized dead star, can release a sudden flare of energy. If that flare strikes a cold cloud of hydrogen gas at just the right angle, the cloud can light up intensely in radio waves for a short burst, almost mimicking a deliberate transmission. It only happens when the flaring source, the gas cloud, and Earth all align perfectly, which would explain why the signal was so intense and why it never happened again. So is the mystery solved? Not entirely. Even the scientists behind this theory call the wow signal an enigmatic outlier, a strong candidate explanation, but not an absolute certain. And that leaves us with an unsettling thought. If a natural phenomenon can perfectly imitate what we expect an alien message to look like, how would we ever know for certain when we finally receive the real one? Nearly 50 years later, the wow signal remains exactly what it was the night Jerry Ammon first saw it. The closest we've ever come to a hello from somewhere else. And we still don't know for sure who said it,